I would just like to talk about the subject of things that you should not take for granted in your youth. We are so fortunate that there are people that have walked the path before us. And if we use that as a resource, something that we can reflect on, we are able to not repeat some of the mistakes that they have done, or we are able to look at what they have done and do it much better. And I know as a young person, and when I say young here, in South Africa, most people finish their university at 19, 20, 21, and they get employment or start employment at around 22 or so. And that can even include people who are at the ages of 35. Probably one day I will do a video on the fact that it's not too late for you to cover the things that you have lost. But today I would just like to talk to those people that are still in their prime, early in their professions, about things that they should not take for granted. And here's the thing, at that age, most of us tend to live under this perception that we've got time. And I am not encouraging you to miss the essence of your youth. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But the reality is, in that process, time is not going to wait for you. And the idea is not for you to constantly live into your future because you're going to miss the present. At the same time, it's not only to live in the present because you still have got the future. So that is where the balance aspect come into play. And if you can think of your life that way, you realize that you will be able to achieve most of the things that you want to achieve in this life. Let's start with the first one. I always like to say that choose your friends wisely. When people say, show me 5 of your friends and I will tell you where your future will be, it's not a joke, because our success is also tied to the network that we have around us. Sometimes people stick with people because they have grown with them for a long time. This is my childhood friend, and even in adulthood you still carry these people even if you are no longer on the same wavelength. Friendship, as far as I'm concerned, is not about the length of time that you have known a person, but it's about the substance that you give and you gain in that relationship. And I'm saying, if your childhood friend is no longer able to do that, or they are not in the position to do that, it does not necessarily mean that they should be your friend. And I'm also not saying ditch them totally, but I'm saying, how much time are you spending with that friend? So choose your friends very, very wisely. Or let me rephrase it. Choose your circle very, very wisely, so that you are able to increase your chances of achieving. Let's look at the second point. Pleasure and entertainment. There's a saying in my language that loosely translated simply means that pleasure is going nowhere. It will always be with us. And it's all about how we spend our time and on what things do we spend our time. So obviously, as a young person, if you're constantly focusing on entertainment and pleasure, your life is going to look like a party. And probably that's not what you are looking for. So as you entertain yourself, as you get into fun activities, they shouldn't be things that deplete you. They should physically. They shouldn't be things that affect your mental state. It should be things that drain your financial resources. So entertainment will always be there, but let it not occupy almost every aspect of what you want to do. So put it in your mind that entertainment will always be there. And let me put it this way quickly. I've always said, even to my friends, entertainment is going nowhere. And what we used to do in our 20s, I want to believe that it's not exactly the same as what we used to do in our 30s. And now I've just turned 50 this year. Am I going to stop entertaining myself? No. I will engage in pleasurable and entertaining and fun activities that speaks to where I am in my life with people that are on the same level of life where I am. So entertainment will always be there, but you've got to navigate the various stages of life where you are. The other point that I would like to look at is spend time with your loved ones. I think that as people grow, or as we grow up, we have friends, we've got our own lives, we've got our own activities, but that should not necessarily take you away from spending time with your loved ones. These are the people that will be there when things become tough. These are the people that you can pour your heart to. So the fact that you have your life, say you are now working, does not necessarily mean now that all the time you spend with your friends that you are working and you disregard your family. That is where your umbilical cord was cut and you constantly have got to be there and be with your family. I'm not talking here about the dynamics of families and stuff that you can sort, but I'm talking about the principle of being close to your loved ones. Spend enough as time with those that you love, especially your parents as they get older and older. I've made a video on that in the past as well. But what I'm saying here is take time, create space in your busy schedule to be able to share time and space with your loved ones. It could be your parents, it could be your siblings. They should not be done a favor just because you've got 2 minutes to just pass by home and then you just 2 minutes see them and then you rush off. Create enough time with your loved ones. The other one that I would like you to look at is about saving. And this is very, very important. I've said it that sometimes as a young person, you still think that you've got time. But time is money, time is value. And it does not matter how much you put aside as far as finances are concerned, but put something aside. 100 Rand, 200 Rand, 1,000 Rand a month, put it somewhere there for the rainy days. Because let me tell you, rainy days are coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So it is going to happen. Yes, we might convince ourselves that things are tough. I cannot spend on other stuff. Where will I get money to save? If you look at your expense list clearly, there will be something. There is a point where you can be able to save. So go and save. Lastly, related to saving is about investing. And I'm making these 2 points separately because they are not the same thing. So I was having a discussion with my daughter. She's 24 years old. She is in an internship program, and I was saying to her, you know what, I will just give an advice and recommendation, and you'll apply your mind to it whether it will work for you. But I encourage that you think clearly about this. And I said to her, I know you need to have something behind your name, and I encourage you to have it. But here's my point. We've got a home. Most of the time I'm staying alone in this home, and you can use this home. So you can, if you want to buy, do you think that you need to, I don't think you need to be in a rush to buy a home that you're going to stay in. Maybe you can buy yourself a home that is an investment in terms of rental and leasing it out to other people whilst you're staying in this, in my home. Because like I said, I'm not always here, and actually there come a point where I will not even be staying here due to some developments in my life. So I was saying to her, you make that call, whether you buy a land where you're going to develop property and put it out there as a rental, and then you still have got a home that you're not going necessarily to pay because this is a family home, you know. So that's the seed I've planted in her. And that's the investment I'm talking about, because I have seen other nations doing it, supporting their children to be able, when they come to 40 years of age, 45 of years, they are financially free. But because we grew in circumstances that were difficult, we talk it, but we don't know it. And that's what I would like to support my daughter and sons with, so that they can be able to stand up for themselves. So these are just a few nuggets that I'm sharing. Take them to heart. As the Bible says, those who've got ears to listen will listen. Those that have got eyes to see will see. And this is not a statement of guilt. It's just a statement of reality for you to say, listen and observe from those that came before you. Not everything should be learned through hardship. And take advantage by listening to those that have walked the journey before you. If you love this content, please subscribe and join us in the next video, when we continue to cultivate personal mastery, self-worth, and leadership in you. Until the next video, I love you and I thank you.